What is going on, everybody? It's Coach Marty here, and I am super stoked to be doing this new YouTube series that I'm going to be using to break down different players on our East Coast Pipeline travel organization. We have teams that range from 12U to 16U showcase, and I am super stoked to be able to get all these guys in here, get a bunch of data on them, and kind of really break things down. My role within East Coast Pipeline, I am the 14U assistant coach, but I am also the head of player development and data analytics as well for the entire organization. Now, I've been blessed to partner with Rapsodo. They have sent me the Pro 2.0, and I am using that to gather as much data as possible on all of my players to make the most informed decisions on what will bring them the most success on the diamond, whether they're pitching, hitting, whatever it may be. I also help take care of our strength, mobility, speed, conditioning, and agility as well off the diamond, so then when they do step between those lines, they are the best prepared athlete possible for their position to play the game of baseball. The first iteration of my player profile for East Coast Pipeline is going to be Aiden Chido. I coached our 15U team last year, and Aiden was on our team, and let me tell you, this kid is special. He's got a special arm talent. He was dealing with something that they thought was Tommy John, but it really was thoracic outlet syndrome, so he had to have his top rib removed, and he came back, did all of his protocols and everything, hung out with the team, great teammate, and it was awesome to see him get back in the outfield, throwing darts from the outfield. We promised him 1 inning by the end of the season. It was actually in our last tournament, and he just dominated. That 1 inning, he made the most of it. He dominated. He shut the door. It was awesome to see for a 15U guy, and now he's 16. He's a 2027 grad. He stands at about 6 foot, 185, right-handed pitcher, right-handed hitter. Like I said, can also play the outfield, but is mainly a starting pitcher. He's got an electric arm. We're going to dive into his live at-bats today. These were his first live sessions of the season. I'm super stoked to get into it. I hope you guys are too. Stay tuned till the end to see me kind of go in depth a little bit more on a couple things. But without further ado, let's jump into our live mic'd up session with Aiden Chido.
Fastball changeups again. You good? All right. Location today, right? Your fastball's live, right? We know that. Just gotta spot it. I'm telling you, like everyone will say, it. Hardest pitch today is the perfectly placed fastball, right? If you can dot guys up with a fastball, they're not gonna touch it. I promise you that. And then especially with the way your two-seam plays off of that, and then the work that we were talking about, like with your curveball, that's essentially more like a cutter because you throw it hard as shit. I love that, right? But obviously we're not throwing that today, so just dot the fastball, use the two-seam to run it away from a lefty or into a righty, and then spot your changeup too. All right, let's go. Let's do it. What's up? How are you, Em? Good. Em, you've gotten so much fucking bigger than when I coached you already.
I gained 30 pounds.
Fuck yeah.
Put on a lot of weight.
Hell yeah.
I gained like 3 inches.
I told you it was gonna happen, right?
Yeah. And then after the season, I just went to the gym like every day.
Good. Keep it up. What do you got there? 2-0? 1-1. Yeah. Yeah. Change up there? Yeah. Love that. Love that. Great pitch. Good pitch. Tied him up. Get ahead. Attack. Get ahead. It's okay. 4-seam there. Attaboy. Attaboy. Throw the two-seam off that. Bring it back. Throw the two-seam off that. That was gross, though. That was gross. I get your ground ball. Yeah, that two-seam was gross. 19 inches of horizontal. I don't care that it was in the fucking dirt, right?
Yeah.
Spot that next time, though. Because you can start with that much horizontal. You can start that on the outside of the plate. It's going to fucking break into a righty. Probably last batter here. Finish it. Come on. Get ahead. Stay ahead. Nothing wrong with that. Good boy. Yeah, use that now. Up and out fastball. Go to him. Okay. Now it's change up there, right? Yeah. Okay. That's the spot you want to go with that. The only thing I question there is calling a change up after that swing before. Because he was pretty late, fouled that off. And he was late on that. It was away though, right?
Yeah.
Great pitch. Great pitch. We'll work on that changeup a little more.
Yeah.
They could use a little more,
It's gotta like go down.
yeah, a little more horizontal, a little more vertical, bro. Because we want that to be more of a negative number. 5 inch, it's not bad. How to get your ground ball. Yeah, I think you're done. That was a fastball. Damn, holy shit. 1,500 or 2,800 RPM on that? If that was right, there's no way. That's a crazy number. Good work, though, Chido. Good work. Yo, that was probably the best I've seen Chido throw. That was really good. And he didn't even have his curveball either.
So now, thanks to Rapsodo tracking all the data from that session, we can actually go onto the cloud and take a look at everything. So these are the metrics that Rapsodo kind of averaged out and gives you kind of instantly right away. This is kind of the instant feedback as soon as the session syncs to the cloud, and then you can go on and take a look. And you look at his fastball, and you can look at like the strike zone here and where the strikes were. And again, I didn't pick up every pitch. Pardon the setup, by the way. I'm at work right now, but I had a chance to record this, so I wanted to get it in because this stuff really gets me going. I love this stuff. So you see his average velo, his max velo. So he's sitting like 82, top at 83.5, like maybe 84. His RPMs are really good. One of his last pitches was like 2,800 RPMs, and that I think was a misread. That's really high. But you can see his vertical and horizontal breaks. So he's kind of like 3/4, right? So he gets a little bit more of that arm side run, but he also can live up in the top of the zone because of his spin rate and how efficient his spin is as well. So I'd like to see that number a little bit higher, which would get that RPMs up, which in sense, according to power units, you would essentially be increasing your velocity because it's spin rate over velocity, I think. Well, actually, you know what? We're going to look it up. Spin rate divided by velocity. Yeah. And it's just an easier way of determining how useful spin numbers are compared to the velocity. And I remember reading about that the other day. It's kind of a direct correlation. When the spin rate goes up, you expect the velocity to go up, right? And if it's not, then that's where you can take a look at other things mechanically and see what might be going wrong. Now, we can do a lot of things with him mechanically to bump his velo up, but we can also work on his finger strength and tendon stiffness on the fingertips when applying force to the ball. And I think that's also going to help his changeup, and it's going to also help him develop a better slider instead of a cutter like I was talking about. He's kind of 3/4 behind the ball. He's almost kind of like, instead of a fastball, being here, he kind of shifts himself and he's on the side of the ball, whatever his grip may be. He's kind of like behind the ball here as opposed to like here for a slider. He's not a true curveball. So if we can get him to develop this and rolling off that finger, wherever he's got to put that pressure and rolling off that middle finger and getting that horizontal movement, if we can get that and build that, that's going to be really dirty off of his pitches. And then, again, he throws his two-seam off of that too, right? But I want to work on kind of turning it into like a splinker and getting him to really pronate and push off that middle finger to really create a lot of that depth, that horizontal and vertical depth. That'll be a harder pitch than his changeup, and his changeup will have, hopefully, ideally, a little bit more depth to it, and that'll be a bigger change of pace as well. So if you can throw his fastball up in the zone, so you kind of live in like that triangle of death they call. So you got the fastball like the top of the zone, and then you got that splinker two-seam that can kind of run into a righty, get some arm side run and some vertical depth a little bit, but then you've got that changeup that just freaking fades off the table, and then you've also got that slider to play off of it, right? All out of the same tunnel. So I think that'd be a great pitch arsenal for him, but that's stuff that we can develop over time. I mean, he's 16, 6 foot, 185. He's still going to grow a little bit. He's lifting all the time. He's putting on a lot of mass, and he doesn't graduate for another couple years. So he's got some time, and we got a lot of developing to do, which is really exciting. So then what I also like to look at is release averages. So you can actually see the release height here and then the release side. This is essentially how horizontal and vertical your release is from the middle of the mound. He's about 2 feet to the right of the mound and about 6 feet up in his release when he's releasing the ball from the middle of the mound, and that's on the right hand side. So this obviously can tell you that he's a righty. You know, you would typically see like a lefty probably over here, or like a sidearm submarine guy like maybe down here or something. So it really all kind of depends, but he's about 3/4, so this looks about right, and it tells me that these pitches are really coming out of the same tunnel. I'd love to see a slider off of that, cutter slider off of that, but we haven't been throwing that, so we're hoping tomorrow that we can get a little bit of that work in. And you can take a look at the break plot, right? So then you're looking at all the different breaks in his fastball. So this was one that he spiked, you know, 0 vertical break, 11.5. But then you see in these numbers with this arm side run, you know, anytime we're working right here into the top quadrant, we're dealing with a lot of vertical break and arm side run. So this is typical like a 3/4 guy. And then you're looking at his changeup too, vertical break 15.7. I'd like to see that as more of a lower number. He did throw that changeup, as I recall, kind of up in the zone a little bit. A couple changeups that he threw. So that's stuff that we can work on as well. And here you get a more kind of spray chart effect of pitches here. So his different curveballs from the sessions. -9 horizontal and 4.7 vertical. Again, you know, both these numbers are looking way more like a slider, but he throws it pretty hard too. So it's really kind of more of a cutter. I like that, but I really want to, like I've said, get him further on that side of the ball and apply more pressure through that middle finger. Get that -8, -9 to be more of a -12 to -15. You know, that's going to be a deadly pitch off of his fastballs. This is actually one of my favorite visuals. It's a super simple way to see how his pitch is moving vertically and horizontally. So the fastball, you know, it's pretty 50-50, which is really sweet to see because you've got that rise effect coming in towards the batter. But then as a righty, it's also running up and in on you, and a lefty, it's kind of running out and away from you. He's got that arm side run, and it's actually super effective to have these numbers kind of split here, right? Other we're not really going to worry about right now. His curveball, again, you see, so this is, again, showing more of a slider profile. You know, the horizontal break is greater than the vertical break, which is telling me that, you know, he's applying more pressure through that middle finger, again, but he's probably further behind the ball and not really on the side of the ball to get that number a little bit higher. His changeup, though, you see his vertical break, it outweighs his horizontal break, which isn't a bad thing, but I want that vertical break to be more of a negative number and kind of diving away and diving out of the zone. Again, I think the couple changeups that he threw that the system did pick up were elevated, so that would explain that number. Now you see the velocity distribution here, so you see his fastballs are pretty steady throughout his sessions. And you see his curveballs are about close to about 10 miles an hour slower, which is a pretty good number. His changeup's thrown pretty hard. That's something that we definitely need to work on. We definitely want to create more of that top spin, really get that ball to dive more and kind of be 70 to 72 maybe, kind of like his curveball, maybe a little bit harder, like 75. 77 is not much of a difference from that changeup. Or from that fastball. You know, I'd like to see that number a little bit lower and still have that same profile as his fastball as well. So that'll do it. You know, I was super stoked to get this together. I really enjoy breaking this down, you know, having a background in data analytics. You know, that was actually my major, and I am actively working to pursue sports analytics and sports performance metrics, certifications, and getting more into that as well. Stuff that really interests me. And when Rapsodo reached out to me and wanted to partner with me, I was thrilled, you know, to work with such a high-profile brand, just signing Ohtani and the athletes they work with, the metrics that they are able to put out there for athletes to get better and develop quicker. You know, it's great. It's amazing for the game. Super excited to see what we can do with it. You know, we're already doing great things with it, and there's only more to come. Stay tuned. I'm going to be breaking down a lot more players in the future, and I'm even going to be doing a lot of strength and mobility workouts and kind of follow-alongs like that, as well as doing breakdowns for players specifically with their mechanics and stuff and what they can do in the weight room and what they can do to kind of get the feels that they need when they're on the mound and stuff like that. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and stay tuned for the next one. Appreciate you guys.